Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the November 17, 2015 Chino City Council Meeting. If you'll please rise for the flag salute, we're privileged this evening to have Boy Scout Troop 212 to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Can you take your hats off other than the Boy Scouts? Scout salute. Ready? Wait, right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's give them a round of applause. Good job, gentlemen. You can have a seat. Under ceremonials, we have the Great American Smokeout. I'd like to call up Naomi Luna, Community Service Coordinator, Brooke Arcee, Chino Police Department Crime Prevention Specialist, Jenny Mott, Chino Valley Unified School District, Nurse and Tobacco Prevention Education Grant Coordinator. That's a big title. I have a proclamation, and it reads, whereas November 19, 2015 marks the 40th anniversary of the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout, a campaign designed to encourage tobacco users to quit on or before that day. And whereas the City of Chino, in conjunction with community partners such as the Healthy Chino Coalition, Chino Valley Unified School District, Chino Police Department, and the Chino Experience Teen Center, provide programs that encourage young people to quit smoking or not to start at all by promoting a healthy lifestyle and educating youth on the effects of smoking. And whereas tobacco use is responsible for nearly 1 in 5 early deaths in the U.S., which remains the single largest preventable cause of disease and premature death in the United States. Yet more than 42,000 Americans continue to smoke cigarettes. And whereas each day nearly 3,000 people under the age of 18 try their first cigarette and another 700 become regular daily smokers. And whereas the City of Chino urges all tobacco users to demonstrate to themselves and their loved ones that they can quit on or before the Great American Smokeout. Now therefore I, Dennis Yates, Mayor of the City of Chino, do hereby proclaim Thursday, November 19, 2015 as the Great American Smokeout Day. I'd like to present this to you. Where'd she go? There she is. And do a few words. Oh.
You want to say something first?
Oh, I just wanted to give you a little story that happened today as I was working with students at a couple of the high schools that I was at, and talking about the Great American Smokeout, and the looks on their faces was like, what? And their interpretation of it is more like smoking out with marijuana. So I had to explain that the Great American Smokeout has to do with taking your tobacco, cigarette, and putting it out. So it's kind of a thing that we need to kind of dispel with them. So it was amusing.
On behalf of the Chino Police Department Crime Prevention Unit, we want to thank the Mayor and City Council for your continued support. It wasn't very long ago that we were here accepting the proclamation for Red Ribbon Week, which just goes to show that we are, working extremely hard in the areas of drug prevention and education, a huge priority for our department and our unit in particular. So we appreciate not only your support, but the support of other community stakeholders in empowering young people like these ones, as well as older people in making healthy decisions for their lives, and no better time to quit smoking than the smokeout.
Better watch it, Karen. She's pretty, pretty sharp.
Just to echo on that, the Chino Experience Teen Center will also be hosting the Great American Smokeout this Thursday November 19th from 4 to 6 p.m. We're going to focus on the positive. We want them to not start smoking at a young age. Statistics show that out of the 440,000 people who do smoke, 90% of them start as young smokers. So we want to deter them from that. We want to deter our young teens from that, and we'll be celebrating the Great American Smokeout. They'll be contributing to a commitment wall, as well as showcasing some art and partnering up with the Chino Valley Unified School District, as well as Reach Out, who will provide a presentation to our teens.
Nice.
And we've also invited the Ramona Junior High after-school program, and they'll partake on some challenges with our teens. So
Cool.
we're looking forward to a great event. Some flyers are available at the lobby area, but everyone is welcome, parents, young adults, and fellow teens. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We appreciate all you do, and I want you to keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for being here. Round of applause. Next on the agenda. I did. Now we went off. Next on the agenda is public communication. This is the time and place for the general public to address the council on items that do not appear on the agenda. The Brown Act prohibits any action being taken on an item that is not agendized. You are reminded you have 5 minutes for your presentation. I get all my regional committees mixed up. It's 3 here, 5 there. I got a request from Pastor Bill Ritter of Joy Community Church to lead us in the invocation, and he would like to join. Please arise for the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. It's an honor to be here with you this evening. Even more an honor to pray for you, as we do often. Father, we thank you for this evening to gather. We thank you, gracious God, for being able to gather in this country, America. Our hearts have been heavy for the last several days for what's happening to our fellow citizens across this globe. We continue to pray for your peace and providence and your presence with those who are hurting. We thank you for the land we live in. We thank you for the freedom, even the freedom to meet. Your word says that if we ask for wisdom, you'll give it to us. And we know that wisdom comes from a multitude of counsel. So we pray that your wisdom will guide this council with the knowledge that you have already given them. And we pray for discernment as they process ideas and debate different subjects, that you'll guide. We thank you for their service. We pray your blessing. We pray your protection. And most of all, we say thank you for giving us the opportunity to live in this great city we call Chino. For it's in the name of the Lord that we pray. Amen. You may be
Thank you,
seated.
Pastor Bill. Have a seat, folks. On to public communication, I have one request to speak, and that's from Sandra Woolley.
Good evening.
Take
I'm
it.
really in the spotlight here, aren't I?
Give your name for the record, and you have
It's
5 minutes,
Sandra
ma'am.
Woolley. Yes, thank you. Bear with me, I'm just getting over a chest cold, so I may end up coughing. I didn't know quite how to approach this subject because it's of great concern to many people in the community. So I thought I would just jump right in and express our feelings. Not too long ago, I was driving by Chino Spectrum Marketplace on Roswell, looked up at the wall to see what new businesses were there. All of a sudden, I see what looks like second grade scribbling. Didn't know what it was. Drove up closer and closer, saw a little emblem that said cafe on it. And I had been told about this previously. And I have to tell you, I was incensed. I was angry, I was offended that English wasn't up there. That is our spoken language in this country. And as Teddy Roosevelt said in 1907 in a speech on immigration, we welcome all immigrants as long as they come in good faith. They meld into our way of life, our culture, learn our language, are faithful to our flag, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel the same way today. My dad, I'm a daughter of the greatest generation. And if it weren't for that great generation, which sadly I don't know if we'll ever see that again, today more than likely we'd be speaking Japanese or German. So what I'm saying is not that other languages can't be posted, but English is our spoken language. And to not put English up there where the majority of the community know what that business is. So in seeing that, I'm thinking, well, that means that one ethnicity is being served there, which of course is discrimination. What is that business? And let me tell you, a few years ago, I went into T-Mobile at Montclair Plaza, walked in with my daughter, and I saw Spanish up on the wall and English underneath it. And there were a number of other customers that were not happy. I went to mall management, and then I contacted T-Mobile corporate office. I gave them a bit of information about the state of California. 3 months later, it was changed. English, Spanish. That information is this. The Constitution for the state of California mandates that English is the official language. It is to be preserved, protected, and enhanced. No other language is to take precedence over it. And if any business in California operates just in one particular language outside of English, the legislature is mandated to address it immediately and resolve it. So what we're saying is it doesn't mean another language can't go up there, but English is the official language of this state. And you have the power to amend the sign criteria. And if you speak about the First Amendment, so tired of that argument. It's been used, abused, manipulated. Sorry, that's not a First Amendment issue. What it is, it's a protection of our culture. United we stand, divided we fall. And anyone that comes here to live or do business, they need to respect our culture, our heritage, and our language, and do business in our language so that all can enjoy whatever service that it is that they have to provide. So what I'm saying to you is amend the sign criteria. You have the power, you have the right. It's not a legal issue. Doesn't mean you can't put another language up there, but you put English up there. That's the spoken language of the majority of the community. And then the other language below. I used to work for the prior management company for Chino Spectrum Marketplace. I know what the sign criteria reads, and a short time for the current one. And 99% of the time, shopping center criteria goes lock and step with city. You guys are the Bible, so to speak, of the sign criteria. So I implore you to amend the sign criteria that mandates that they must put English up there for any business. And of course, they can put the other language, but below it, English is the priority in this country. Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, and we will be thinking about you on Election Day.
Well, thank you, Ms. Woolley. Eunice?
I thank you for your information. This has been a subject that has been brought up to me several times, and I've queried our city manager who has looked into it and was told that we can't mandate English. So the information that you brought forward, I think, is very, very valuable, and I would request that our city manager and our attorney look into that, because I agree fully that all signs should be in English. And, you know, I also have no problems with a second language being shown, but to not have English at all, you're right, you don't know what is in that business. So if there's no disagreement with the rest of the council, I would like to ask our city manager and city attorney to look into exactly what Mrs. Woolley has brought up this evening. Because we do have those businesses, at least one that I know of, in town that is just in another language.
We did, I did work with the city attorney's office to take a look at that, and they have rendered an opinion on that. So the council has a copy of that. I certainly can distribute that again. We have approached that business, specific business, and request that they voluntarily include English language, and so we're working with that specific business. But we have kind of vetted that and taken a look at it.
But if she's correct about the Constitution of California requesting the protection of English, can't we use that to enforce the same protection? Why not?
Chino Hills is going through the same problem, and they've been turned down too. So,
Well,
It's federal, isn't it?
we're dealing with the First Amendment
yeah,
issue.
First Amendment.
And, you know, the First Amendment is a rock of our civilization in that it protects and promotes ideas and exchange of ideas. That's been defined to include another language. And the cases by the courts have interpreted a sign in another language as being protected speech under the First Amendment. And because of that, the council actually does not have the authority to impose a requirement that the signs be listed in English only or include some English. There was a case about 15 years ago against the city of Pomona for exactly this issue, and the city of Pomona lost. And that's a seminal case in the area. Once the issue came up, I also talked to Mark Hensley, the city attorney for Chino Hills, on the subject, because I wanted to find out if he was aware of any other cases. It's the same case. I'm familiar with that case. That's what the case says. He says there's some criteria in the case, but it's a hard factual sell. The law still is that this is First Amendment protected speech, and we cannot impose the requirement of English only on the signs.
Well, not English only, but to have, like Mrs. Woolley was saying, having English as predominant.
I'm sorry. We can't do that. That's clearly what the cases hold. We don't have the authority to do that.
So what she cited under the Constitution in California is not,
It's already been decided. Can't do it.
Well, I don't doubt that the California Constitution says what it does, but the California Constitution doesn't preempt the United States Constitution on speech issues. They're very similar, but if there's a doubt, there's two different standards. They're almost alike, but if there's a doubt, someone has to satisfy both. And if they could satisfy the California Constitution, they still have to satisfy the federal Constitution. The federal Constitution says it's protected speech. So in other words, a person has a right to put up a sign in a language other than English.
Councilman Duncan?
Yeah, when the development was built at the corner of Roswell and Schaefer, we ran into, I think Tom and I were the Economic Development Committee, and we had that conversation with Pete Chen, who was the builder on that, and at that time, all we could do was encourage her to do it that way, and she voluntarily agreed to make sure there was English on the building. So apparently that is what the First Amendment guarantees, and we have to go along with it. But we can seek voluntary compliance with that.
That's the current policy.
Right.
Well, I think the biggest concern that the business community ought to have is the fact that if they need first responders, whether it's the police department or fire department, that rolls up there and all there is Spanish or Asian, it's difficult for the first responders to figure out, is this the place that called? Because obviously the majority of them can't read the Asian language or even the Hispanic language. So it would be a wise business decision. I'm not saying that we got to force them to put English on top or Asian or Spanish on the bottom, but just for common sense, for safety issues, that they put that on their building for first responders. Because they had that problem, I remember years ago in Garden Grove, when the Vietnamese community moved into Garden Grove after the Vietnam War, is everybody on downtown had their Vietnamese language on there, and the first responders, they'd have a fire or a robbery, and the cops are going up and down the street trying to figure out, who called. And so, of course, as our city attorney says, I know Chino Hills is going through the same thing because of their Asian population up there, but it's not a whole lot we can do about it.
You'd think they would want that for good business practices.
Well, I know, yeah, you
When you're in
would.
business, you want people to patronize your business, and if they can't read the writing on your business, they don't know what you do, doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Well,
that's
you
good
bring up
common
an ex-
business sense. to
you
do
bring
that.
up an excellent point about public safety
That's right.
also. If you can't read what the business is,
Yeah.
can't we,
Garden Grove had a
Well,
real
the
problem
address is
with
gonna
that.
be there.
can't we compel the use of English for safety reasons?
Nope,
Wow.
but it would be just,
A lot of this is, we have a CAD system, so I want people to realize that, we're gonna be able to find the location. But, this will only help to know the type of business or
Yeah.
be able to mark the business. But I also want folks to realize that both police and fire, they have CAD systems. And so they'll be able to find the location if anybody calls in for help.
yeah, some of our laws are difficult to explain, but we do have the First Amendment. And this just reflecting on the Great Smokeout. I was up in San Francisco over by the Ghirardelli chocolate place. What is it? Ghirardelli. And there was a guy standing on the corner smoking a cigarette, and some people come out and started yelling at him because he was smoking. I guess Frisco, you can't smoke nowhere. But what was odd, every place I walked, the guys were doing marijuana, and nobody said a word to him. I'm going, the guy had a cigarette and was smoking, and people jumped him. But they were standing on the corner with their smoking a joint. Nobody said nothing to him. But go figure. I don't know, huh?
Gotta have your priorities.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess marijuana doesn't create smoke like a cigarette does or something. I don't know. But you can smoke, stand around on the sidewalk and smoke dope, but you can't smoke a cigarette, which is kind of weird to me. But I don't know. But anyway, Ms. Woolley, we appreciate you bringing that up, and obviously we've researched that. And unless somebody makes an amendment to the First Amendment,
Well,
federal.
I think there's a lot of people that are going to be signing a petition. Oil has been saved. So, I think we kind of, I don't think we're going to let this be an issue.
Well, yeah, you're probably right, but I would address those petitions to your congressman. Yeah.
And I've already met with them as well.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Anybody else wish to address the council on anything not on the agenda? Yes, ma'am, come to forward, state your name, you have 5 minutes.
Chino Valley. And I just wanted to give an update for the businesses in the area, and that is December 12th, we're going to be planning our Christmas luncheon, and we're going to be having a toy drive and a food drive, as well as a sing-along. It's going to be held at Los Serranos Country Club, and we would welcome the public out there. And come March, we're going to be saluting public safety. So the first week in March, we will be honoring our police and fire departments. And that's the update from the Chino Valley Fire District. It's time for bed, the Chamber of Commerce.
Linda, I
Thank you.
believe that luncheon is the 11th.
It's the 11th?
December. Yeah,
Okay, I was told the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 12th is a Saturday, isn't it?
yeah. It's on Friday.
Okay.
There's something else. Is that our Christmas deal at the city? Yeah, the same day, we're having our employee Christmas party on the
What?
same day.
Really?
Is that the 16th?
That's the 16th.
Something's going on the 11th. I can't figure out what
No,
it
the
is.
parade is the 12th.
The parade's the 12th. Oh, okay.
It's the 11th.
It's the 11th?
Yeah.
Okay. If there's a further update, I'll be back.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience? Seeing none, we'll close public communication. Next, the consent calendar. Anybody wish to pull a line for discussion may do so now. If not, we'll entertain a motion. We have a motion by Councilman Duncan, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Uloa. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Next is public hearings. Prior to the vote of the City Council, any member of the audience will have the opportunity to address City Council on items listed under public hearings. You already reminded you have 5 minutes for your presentation. Item 10, formation of improvement area 7 in Community Facilities District 2003-3. Our staff report this evening is by our Director of Finance, Mr. Rob Burns. Mr. Burns.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. On October 6, 2015, the City Council adopted Resolution 2015-066, declaring the City of Chino's intent to establish Improvement Area Number 7 within CFD 2003-3, which is located in the preserve. The establishment of this improvement area will allow the city to levy a facilities tax and a services tax. These taxes will be used to pay for the required infrastructure and public services. Tonight's actions are to adopt the required resolution for formation of the improvement area, call for a special election, and immediately hold the special election, tally the election results, and then approve the introduction of the ordinance to levy the special taxes within the improvement area. It is recommended the City Council adopt the proceedings as outlined by the mayor this evening, and that concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. This is the time and place set for a duly noticed public hearing regarding the proposed establishment of improvement number 7 within the Community Facilities District 2003-3 of the City of Chino, the district. and the proposed issuance of bonds of the district on behalf of Improvement Area Number 7. I would like to welcome anyone or everyone and declare the public hearing open. The City Council has previously received and reviewed a Community Facilities District report prepared by Albert A. Webb Associates, Special Tax Consultant to the City, which is hereby entered into the record of this public hearing. At this time, are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this matter? If so, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and present your comments. Seeing no speakers, I hereby declare the public hearing closed. At this time, we are ready to approve the following resolutions. Resolution number 2015-071, establishing improvement area number 7 of the Community Facilities District number 2000-3 of the City of Chino, authorizing the levy of special taxes and calling an election therein. And Resolution 2015-02, determining the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness within improvement area number 7 of said Community Facilities District and calling for an election therein. I would entertain a motion. We have a motion by Councilman Duncan, seconded by Councilmember Howie. Please vote. Item passes 5 yes, no 0. The resolutions that we have just adopted establish improvement area number 7 within the district, authorize the levy of special taxes within that improvement area number 7 in accordance with the rate and method of apportionment attached to Resolution 2015-066 and Exhibit C. Determine the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness and call an election with improvement area number 7, which election is to be held at this time by the city clerk as the district has received from all owners of taxable property within the improvement area number 7 waivers as to the time for holding the election. We'll direct the city clerk to conduct the special election and announce the results.
All ballots have been cast in connection with the election for Improvement Area 7 of CFD 2003-3 of the City of Chino, and the election has now been closed. The results of the election were unanimous, 91 votes in favor of all propositions. Thank you.
Thank you. Having heard the statement of the city clerk certifying the results of the election, I will now entertain a motion to adopt Resolution number 2015-073, certifying the results of the November 17, 2015 special tax and bonded election, and an introduction of ordinance number 2015-011, authorizing the levy of a special tax within improvement area number 7 of the district to be read by number and title only, and further waive reading of the ordinance. Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Duncan, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Ulloa. Item passes 5-0. Jimmy?
Yes, Mayor, council members, this is ordinance number 2015-011. It reads an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chino, California, acting in its capacity as a legislative body of Community Facilities District number 2003-3 of the City of Chino on behalf of improvement area number 7 therein, authorizing the levy of a special tax within the improvement area number 7 of the district.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Moving on, item 11, introduction of urgency ordinance number 2015-10, extending ordinance number 2015-007, a moratorium of the issuance of any new permit, license, approval, or entitlement related to new or the expansion of massage establishments. Our report this evening is by Mike Rowe, Building and Code Appliance Manager. Mike?
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm presenting for your consideration tonight an urgency ordinance which will extend the current moratorium on the issuance of any new permit, license, approval, or entitlement related to new or expansion of massage establishments. On October 6, 2015, urgency ordinance number 2015-007 was adopted, establishing a moratorium on massage businesses. By law, the maximum time period allowed for the moratorium is 45 days. The adoption of the proposed urgency ordinance will extend the moratorium until September 2017. The extension of the massage ordinance will allow city staff to continue to study the effects of AB 1147 and its regulations, including any possible zoning changes. The Police Department and the Code Enforcement Division continue to receive complaints regarding illegal construction and illegal activity at local massage businesses. Due to the rise in criminal activity relating to massage establishments in the city, there is a current and immediate threat to public health, safety, and welfare. In conclusion, staff recommends the City Council conduct a public hearing, approve the introduction of ordinance number 2015-010 to be read by number and title only, and to waive further reading of the ordinance. This concludes my report, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mike. Prior to council comments or questions, I'll open this to public hearing. Anybody in the audience wishing to address the council on this item may do so now. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, entertain a motion. It's moved by Mayor Pro Tem Ulloa, seconded by Councilman Duncan. Please vote. Item passes 5 yes, 0 no. Mr. Gutierrez.
Yes, council members, this is ordinance number 2015-010. It reads, an urgency ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chino, California, enacted pursuant to California Government Code sections 36934, 36937, and 65858, extending a moratorium on the establishment of massage establishments and issuance of any new permit, license approval, or entitlement related to new or the expansion of massage establishments.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Next, new business, item 12, Senior Center Roof Replacement. A report by our Assistant City Manager, Director of Public Works, Mr. Jose Allaire. Mr. Allaire.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. Included in this year's Building Management Fund are funds for the replacement of the Senior Center roof. The Senior Center, the existing roof, is about approximately 13,000 square feet as compared to an average home of about 2,000 square feet for the actual rooftop itself. This roof is 28 years old, and it is a combination barrel tile type roof along with an asphalt roof system as well. So it's two different type of roofs that are up there. The scope of work for this job will consist of the complete tear off of the existing roof systems, both of them, the installment of the underlayment material, the removal and replacement of 7 air conditioning units and putting them back on and operational, installation of the new asphalt roof system, and installation of the barrel roof system. And most importantly, this includes a 30-year replacement warranty for the material and the labor cost. And this one's kind of a unique warranty because if this roof, the material goes bad in 20 years or so, for sake of example, the manufacturer will come in, replace the roof, it's not prorated, and include the labor to replace that roof as well if that material is found to be faulty. So it's a real good warranty. Now, plans and specifications were prepared, and a notice inviting bids were published locally and on Planet Bid electronic bidding. On October 22nd, we received 6 bids. R&R Roofing of Menifee, California is the apparent low bidder with a bid in the amount of $160,120. In addition, staff's requesting to spend an additional $16,012 for project contingencies in case we need the funds. That concludes my report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Allaire. Prior to council comments or questions, I'll open this for public comment. Anybody in the audience wishing to address the council on our little senior roof? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Number one, what if the manufacturer isn't around in 20 years? Number two, we're timing this right into El Nino, right?
Two good points.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with this. That manufacturer's been around for 120 years already. So
Our luck, he'll die next week after we sign the contract.
Well, I'm banking on that they won't, and they'll
Okay.
still be around for another 120 years.
Yeah, right.
And then the contractor is taking into account the El Nino storm, so we're going to be doing sections at a time so that if that storm hits, we're not going to be compromising the building structure itself. So we are vigilant of that, and we're very aware of the storms coming our way.
All righty. Eunice?
When are they going to start, Jose?
If approved, they're going to start December 14th. They have about 45 working days on the project. the first month of the project. They're going to be closing senior center area. We've coordinated that with community services. Everyone's informed. They'll be bringing in porta potties and real nice ones, not the little tiny ones you see at events. These are nice porta potties. And so we're getting ready. Yeah, but we're starting next month if you approve it tonight.
Well, the porta potties are for the next item on the agenda, item
Yeah.
13,
Not the roof.
not the roof.
That's for redoing.
You don't
the
need
roof.
porta
But-
potties for a new roof, I
But,
don't think.
yeah, it's the building is still
Never know.
open and the whole facility's closed
I
down.
got news for you.
And
If you
they're-
mess that up
both of
over
these
there-
projects.
If you mess that up over there, the senior's gonna get a piece of you, I can tell you that right now.
Now I'm real nervous.
That's their building.
I'm real nervous.
Well, the experts in El Nino say it's supposed to hit from January to March. So I suggest they fast track replacing the roof if they can get it done in December.
You got that, Mike?
Because that's what the latest from the experts say.
And I want the thing put in across the street, and I want the lights done at the park, and I want the restroom and snack bar done at the park, and what else do we got going for Mike?
You have until December 31st.
Yeah, hurry up, Mike. And entertain a motion?
Well, you have to do the thingy,
No, what thingy?
that
No, I don't
thingy.
do that anymore.
Yes, you do.
It's moved by Councilman Duncan, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Ulloa. Please vote. Passes 5-0. Next, item 13, award of contract with the senior center restroom renovation. Again, our report for, huh? Now you get to talk about the porta potties. Mr. Lair?
Yeah, we'll talk about the porta potties now. Sorry about that. Again, in this year's building management fund, there's funds in there to expand and reconstruct the restrooms at the senior center. These restrooms serve the entire senior building with a single set of restrooms. But over the years, because of all the programming, all the events going on at the senior center, we've kind of outgrown them, and there's a need to expand them. The improvements will consist of complete demolition of those restroom facilities, and the new restrooms will be designed to meet all the current American with Disabilities Act or ADA standards, and that includes the replacement of the fixtures as well to make sure we meet ADA as well. Now, the plans and specifications, we've prepared those, and a notice inviting bids was published again locally and on Planet Bid, electronic bidding. And also on October 22nd, that was a busy day for us, we received 6 bids as well, coincidental with the last project, but 6 bids were received. In this case, the lowest bidder was R Dependable Construction of San Bernardino, California, and their bid was in the amount of $302,000. And in addition, staff is requesting $30,200 for project contingencies, and we will bring in the porta potties for this one. So, thank you.
Prior to council comment or questions, I'll open this for public comments. Anybody wish to talk about the senior restrooms? Seeing none, we'll close public comment. I know.
Are they dependable, Jose?
They're a pretty good contractor.
Okay, I'll-
Perfect name.
They should be with that name, right?
With that name.
I'll entertain a motion. It's moved by Councilman Howie, seconded by Councilman Duncan. Please vote. Item passes 5-0. Item 14, service contract, California Department of Transportation for Public Improvements. Again, a report by Mr. Allaire. Mr. Allaire?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The City of Chino's been working with the Department of Transportation, the California Public Utilities Commission, and the Union Pacific Railroad to upgrade the existing railroad crossing on Monte Vista Avenue between Schaefer and Edison Avenues. These upgrades will include the installation of signalized gates and median islands. The PUC evaluated this location and determined that the median islands are necessary prior to the installation of these signalized gates. The DOT prepared the service contract to outline the roles and responsibilities of each agency. It was determined the City of Chino's responsibility is to design and install the signage and the raised medians on both sides of the railroad crossing. Upon completion of the median islands, the Department of Transportation will reimburse the city for the required improvements of a not-to-exceed amount of $103,613. In order to approve that service contract, the city must first adopt resolution number 2015-074, authorizing the city manager to execute all the necessary documents. Additionally, staff is requesting the city council to approve the actual service agreement itself so that we can get reimbursed for all of these costs. That concludes my report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Allaire. Prior to council comment or question, anybody in the audience wish to speak to us about this item? Seeing none, I'll close public comment and entertain a motion. It's moved by Councilmember Duncan, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Ulloa. Item passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Allaire. Okay. Under Mayor and Council reports, first I'd like all parents and kids to ready for the Children's Discovery Workshop beginning this Saturday, November 21st, and concluding Saturday, March 19th, 2016. These are going to be great learning experiences where kids can grasp the concepts of nutrition, gardening, and the environment through a variety of activities and crafts. Admission is free, but space is limited to make sure you register in advance by calling 909-334-3478. Also, would like to wish everyone a very happy and safe Thanksgiving, and to please note the City Hall will be closed next Thursday, November 26th, and Friday, November 27th. City Hall will reopen at regular hours of operation at 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Monday, November 30th. And lastly, I'd like everyone to mark their calendars and come out to the City of Chino's annual tree lighting ceremony happening right here at City Hall lawn at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, December 1st. Apple cider, chocolate milk, coffee, and cookies will be provided for all those who will attend, and we then will begin the City Council meeting with the singing of holiday classics led by the Chino Community Chorus. So please make sure you come out and join us for this great holiday tradition. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Ulloa.
Yes, I attended the Art Uncorked event on Saturday, the 14th. It was a lot of fun. Local artists were there with their wares to sell. Spent way too much money. There's always things you have to have. But we have some amazing artists in town, pottery, jewelry, paintings, all kinds of stuff. It was really fun. And then, of course, some of the restaurants were there with samples of their food and local breweries and some of the wineries. It was a lot of fun. They had it at the 5 Cs building, the Chino College Community Center. Put on by the Chino Community Center Corporation. So we had the 4 Cs putting it on at the 5 Cs.
That's right.
It was a lot of fun, and I think it was pretty well attended, although Saturdays are rough to get people to come out. So I think next year they're going to move it back to a Thursday night. And then I would also ask that we agendize an item for, very similar to item number 15 coming up, where we allocate $5,000 of the Community Support Fund toward the Isaiah's Rock Christmas giveaway. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Councilman Duncan.
Yeah, first of all, on the 11th, the mayor and I attended the annual meeting with the sports group presidents at Central Basco. That was really a good meeting. We got to hear what all of the different sports groups are doing, the soccer, the football, Little League. It was really, really good. On the 12th, I attended the Chaffee College Foundation Board meeting. Still, one of the things that concerns me is we had this year, in the latest round of scholarships, we had over 300 applicants, and we get almost nobody from Chino or Chino Hills. So if we get 1 or 2 scholarships, that's a lot. And they're coming from all over, from Riverside, from Corona, from San Bernardino, and Chaffee is a really highly rated school as far as community colleges go. So I would think we should get more interest in getting scholarships out of our community. Yesterday I attended the chamber board meeting. That's where I found out the holiday party was on the 11th. And one of the refreshing things is this year we're done in an hour. If we start at 3 o'clock, we're done at 4 o'clock. Our president is pretty good at that. And then today I attended the open house for the Chino boxing program. That was at the boxing gym. And we had a nice turnout there. And that's item 15.
I was going to say, what?
Item 15. I would ask council support on allocation of community funds. Got to hold it for a while.
Item passes 5 yes.
This
Thank
thing's
you.
gonna end up in China pretty quick.
Thank you.
Councilman Elrod.
Yes, Mayor, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and be careful. There's gonna be a lot of people driving and leaving, so make sure your house is secure. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Councilman Howie.
Thank you, Mayor. The Art Uncorked event was a fun event. It was really a nice event. It is the second time that the Community Center Corporation has put it on, and really, it's just a cool thing, because you'd be surprised on the artists. They had some pretty interesting stuff. I wound up getting a pot, clay type of ceramic pot. Was really very nice.
Pot?
Well, it's sort of a round, you can
Oh,
put, yeah.
a container pot.
Yeah, an urn. It could be used as an urn, I guess. I hadn't thought about that, but it was.
Said you got some pot.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
8-5.
You can smoke that.
Not
Just no
not-
cigarettes.
Yeah. So no, it was.
Pots are hard to light.
Yeah, they are.
So it was out of control, is right. So it was a good event, to say the least. And then on Friday, the 13th, the school district had their annual golf tournament meeting. They had the state of the district, and that was a nice event out at Los Serranos. And Dr. Joseph, he was pretty much the whole state in his speech. They didn't do a video or anything like that. And he did a really good job. He really talked about the students and how great they are and what a treasure it is of the whole district with the kids and all the hard work that the teachers do. And it was very well said. I enjoyed that. Our city manager, Matt Ballantyne, was there, and Dr. Reich was there, and a few others. So it was a good event from that standpoint. And also, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, safe holiday weekend. That's it.
Thank you. City manager, anything additional to report?
The only thing I wanted to report is staff has been meeting to review our preparation plans for El Nino, and probably in December we'll be rolling out a series of information packets for how residents can prepare on their own as well. So people should watch for that in the coming months.
Thank you. City manager, Mr. Gutierrez.
Yes, I have no report, Mayor. Thank you.
I mean, city manager, city attorney.
We promoting?
Yeah, you got promoted. No, maybe not.
No, you'll make less.
I think you just got demoted.
You gotta cut and pay.
Who's next? Chief of Police, Chief Comstock.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. I was listening to you make some comments, Councilman Elrod and Councilman Duncan. I know I spoke to you earlier. I want to talk to you just real quickly about the effects that Prop 47 has been happening upon not just the state of California, but communities here locally. I know that several of you have probably in your neighborhoods have experienced an increase of criminal activity, and there's been some increasing media coverage as to the impact that are related to Proposition 47. And I wanted to just talk with you, the council, about this, as well as our citizens at home. Proposition 47 was a state bond referendum passed by the voters of California on November 4th, 2014. And what essentially Prop 47 has done is it's reclassified the crimes of forgery, check fraud, shoplifting, and some theft. This includes the theft of a firearm and the possession of stolen property from felonies into misdemeanors. So essentially what was once a felony at $400 now has been moved up to those crimes having to have a price threshold of $950 or more in order for those crimes to now be a felony. And it doesn't matter any longer how many offenses the criminal offender has or how many times he's committed before. All those crimes now stand as misdemeanors. Proposition 47 also reclassified the possession of some narcotics like cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine into misdemeanors. So historically, it's important to know that drug addicts or people who are addicted to drugs often commit a lot of these crimes in order to support their drug habits. The intent of Proposition 47 was to decrease prison and jail populations by not incarcerating what the referendum referred to as described as nonviolent or non-serious criminal offenders. But although Proposition 47 has been successful in reducing the number of criminals incarcerated in the state of California, it has also led to an increased number of criminals on our streets. And we now have little to no incentive for these drug-addicted offenders to seek incentive for their treatment. In fact, it has actually been very, very impactful upon drug court, which was, one of the a great incentive for some of these offenders. But it's been very difficult for them to attend drug court due to Prop 47. So in the city of Chino alone, between January and August of this year, we've seen approximately a 36% increase in thefts in just this one period of time since the passage of Prop 47. I was looking at the crime stats just this morning. Last year, during this same period of time, we had approximately 731 reports of theft, and this year we've had approximately 1,000. So you can see how impactful that has been to us. But I want you to know that despite how this proposition carries out for us here in Chino, I want you to know that my personnel and myself take these crimes very seriously, and we're very committed to making sure that these offenders know that they continue to offend in the city of Chino or reoffend, that we will aggressively go out and investigate these crimes and return them to jail. What we can't control, though, is how or when these offenders will be released from custody or how frequently they will be released. We certainly hope that they will spend some time in jail to think about this, but they will be returned to our community, and if they do reoffend again, I'm encouraging our personnel to return them to jail if they continue to commit these crimes. But in order to combat these crimes, we're working tirelessly with the district attorney and our probation office, as well as our district attorney's office, to monitor these offenders and those offenders who could choose to commit new crimes. Essentially, in a nutshell now, what I'm asking the public's help for is to work with us. We're asking you to assist us by calling the Chino Police Department at 909-628-1234 whenever you see something suspicious, to report all incidents of crime, no matter how minor they are. Our guys want to get that phone call. They want you to report suspicious activity in your neighborhood or people in your neighborhood at any given time, day or night. We would rather respond to an incident and determine it's nothing than have to respond out after a crime has occurred. And also by locking your houses and your cars. Don't leave your cars unlocked at night if you don't have to, and don't leave any valuables in your cars if you don't have to overnight, especially out on the street. Don't make it tempting for somebody to break into your car by leaving valuables inside of them. And just finally, I just would like to, I've spent a lot of time this past week, I'm sure a lot like you have, just thinking about the attacks in Paris, France, and some of the things that have happened. And I'd like to conclude with just a simple statement, and it's the national motto. If you see something suspicious, say something. If there's something suspicious going on in your neighborhood, we're depending on all of you to help us. Call it into your police department. We're happy to respond. You're not bothering us. It's our job to provide the safety community to this city. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chief. Eunice?
Karen, I know there are certain things that would help your department apprehend these criminals. And maybe you could go over just a very short list of things that people can notice, like take a cell phone picture of a car, the clothing that people are wearing, if you get a license plate number, anything other than just I saw a car and it looks suspicious, because I know sometimes it's very frustrating if there's no additional information.
Yeah, just any brief description you can provide to us. Of course, if you get a picture of the offender or the car, that's helpful. But when you call into the dispatcher, just get a quick look at the person, what their description is, what their physical appearance is. It doesn't have to be exact. A vehicle description, if they're walking, the direction of travel, where they were last seen, if they have a car, if there's a direction of travel, and we need to know what is a little bit suspicious about them. It can't just be, hey, the person's here, they don't belong here. It has to be they're doing this, they're acting odd, they're looking in the cars, they're looking into, there has to be an activity associated with that, so we don't get accused of wrongly profiling people or other problems that come with this saying, hey, this person just doesn't belong here. There has to be a description of the person and the activity that they believe is odd for that location.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Councilman Duncan?
Yeah, Karen?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true a lot of these people that were let out under Prop 47, initially their crime didn't fall into this, but they plea bargained down to this, and now they are out because their crime is now considered a misdemeanor?
Yeah, there's a lot of these offenders that are still incarcerated that are going to be allowed to put up an appeal. At the last count with the district attorney's office was in the thousands. So they will be able to bring forward an appeal in order to be released. But their most recent, it's not depending on their last offense, it's this offense. It has to be considered non-sex, non-serious, non-violent. It's been a very confusing proposition for the voters. The Los Angeles Times has actually been running a very good article about how the voters have really been misled on this proposition. We've been asking for some people to help us with some correction on it moving forward, especially with firearms. What's particularly interesting is possession of a stolen firearm, if it is under $950 now, is a misdemeanor. Well, you and I both know if you pull the trigger on a gun, whether it's worth $500 or whether it's worth $1,000, it's going to have the same effect. So there's been a lot of misunderstanding about the entire proposition since it was sold as the Safe Schools and Streets Act.
And I know one of the crimes we're seeing right now is stealing packages off your doorstep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And with the holidays coming, people are going to be ordering more and more on
Absolutely.
Amazon, and there's going to be more packages out there. We've also had people coming down and punching out the back windows of cars that are left on the street and stealing items that are in the car. So it's getting to be really, really bad.
Yeah, if you have packages delivered to your house, be a good neighbor, pick them up for your neighbors, take them inside. I recently was the victim of that theft just a couple weeks ago at my house. One of my neighbors saw somebody walk up and take a package right off my doorstep. It's very frustrating. The police community has affectionately termed those criminals as porch pirates when they steal your mail. But nobody likes having their items stolen off their front porch. You're right, Councilman. There's going to be an increase in people wanting to have those things delivered. If you have a post office box or a UPS store nearby, I suggest having them delivered there. If not, make notification to your neighbors so somebody can come over and pick up your packages so it's not tempting for somebody else to steal them.
And how effective are cameras? We have a number of people in our neighborhood that are installing cameras.
Cameras are very effective as long as the definition and the resolution is good enough for this to get a good picture of the offender. That is how the Los Angeles Police Department just recently took down a large ring in the Valley area. There was a picture of the UPS truck driving up, the UPS driver delivering the package, and within seconds, a rented U-Haul truck drives in, backs in, and the suspect gets out and takes the package. Because of the resolution and the definition of those cameras, the police were able to capture the license plate, and they were able to actually serve a search warrant, recover hundreds of pieces, they said, of stolen property that these suspects were essentially following mail trucks around and stealing packages of mail.
I was told if you have 1080 resolution, which is a high definition resolution, and night vision is helpful also.
Certainly. Yeah, it can be difficult if we just have a picture of a person without, a vehicle or a license plate. But we publish those pictures in our weekly crime bulletin, and you'd be surprised at how frequently we come across those. And especially if we have a great picture, we can also use those pictures with the assistance of the media to see if anybody else knows who those suspects are.
But it's even better if you run out there with your cell phone and take a picture.
Unless the guy's packing a pistol.
Yes, you have to be careful with that.
Shoots the camera out of your hand.
Just call us. What I want the residents to know in Chino is you live in a safe community. You live in a great community. We don't have the problems of, fortunately for us, of other communities that we live nearby. This is a safe community, but we need people to report the crime to us so we can come out and respond to it. And if you have an incident like that, call us. We have a great response time. Our officers want to get that call, want to respond and help. So thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Elrod?
Yeah, Karen? The 3 strikes, is that just felonies?
Yes, those are felony crimes.
Okay, that's all I need. Thank you.
Councilman Howie?
Karen.
Oh.
There's 5 of us. So
I apologize.
That's not a problem. One other thing is that you might want to tell people that when they're going shopping for the holidays and they come out of the store and they throw 4 or 5 packages in their back seat that's still visible, that they ought to throw them in the trunk. Because
Absolutely.
to the next store they go. I mean, there are a lot of thefts are in our shopping centers, right?
That
With
is-
packages in plain view.
Yeah.
Or cell phones, especially sitting there.
That is so common, Councilman. I can't reiterate enough not to leave packages in view in your car. Place them in a trunk if you can. Some cars are hatchbacks, you don't have that access, but if you have trunks, of course. And we still have this problem in our local gymnasiums of people wanting to leave purses or wallets in that parking lot right before they go inside the gym. Those are easy targets. What happens is those suspects pop into those windows really quick. They grab somebody's wallet, and within minutes, they're down at a local store using those credit cards. So just take your valuables either inside with you. I know you're worried about the locker getting broken into the gym. Only take what you need with you to the gym, but leaving your stuff in your car, especially during the holidays in shopping centers, is definitely not advisable. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Wow. Fire Chief Shackelford, do you have anything?
Nothing to report tonight.
You're a good man. I've always liked you.
Is that what you said last time?
That's because you had a long report. Okay, I think we have some students in the audience, do we? Am I mistaken? Where are you guys from? Ayala. Are you here for a class project? Why don't you come up to the podium here, give us your name, the school you attend, and then your professor or your teacher and your class. Because I have a police officer right behind you that can escort you up here if you'd like.
Ask them if they live in Chino or Chino Hills.
Go ahead, son.
I'm Kyle Hutchinson. I attend Ayala High School in Chino Hills, and I'm here for Mr. Allen's class.
What's the class name?
It's government.
Government?
Sorry.
Well, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Young lady, you can move now.
Oh, sorry.
I'm Raven.
People.
Yeah, and I'm here for the same person. I'm Raven.
You're Raven?
Yeah, and I'm
And-
here for the same class.
Okay, thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Jade, and I'm here for the same class too.
Do most of the kids in the yellow only have one name?
Oh, I'm Jade Ross.
Oh, nice to have you here. Thanks for
Yeah,
being here.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, we're going to stand adjourned, and I'd like to do it in memory of those victims in Paris that were murdered by the ISIS folks, and especially one American. And would like to adjourn the meeting in their remembrance, and the world's becoming unbelievable. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 1st at 7 p.m., closed session at 6 if necessary. And we want to wish you a safe trip home, and again, happy Thanksgiving. We stand adjourned.